So in the yesterday demo session, just I was briefing you about this Python, right? So today I'll be entering into this Python technicals like data types, data types and variables, like data types and variables. every organization, right? Use case, every organization use case has got data and operations, has got data and operations. Every organization use case has got data and operations. Data represented using data types, variables. Operations represented using functions. Operations represented using functions. Check this. Every organization use case has got data and operations. Data represented using data types and variables. Operations by using functions. Okay. If you take any organization, for example, take the example of a bank. Bank has got data and operations. Bank data means like customer data, like customer name, customer account number, address, balance, branch, all this is data. And operations, what operations? Deposit operation, withdraw operation, transfer operations. They are represented using functions. Data by using data types and variables. Now, if you compare C or C++ or Java comparison with Python, C or C++ or Java comparison with Python, right? Yes. Python supports dynamic data types. Python supports dynamic data types. In other programming languages, right? In other programming, if I want to create a variable like x equal to 10, you want to create a variable like x equal to 10, right? Compulsory this data type defining is compulsory, right? Int x equal to 10. If I want to define a variable like 4.5, compulsory the data type float is required. If you want to give hello, right? String. But in Python, no need to define these data types. Directly you can say like x equal to 10. Directly you can say y as 4.5. Directly you can say z has hello, right? What kind of variable x is? What kind of variable x means what kind of variable x is based upon what data type you are defining. If you're defining integer, right? This x is what integer variable. What kind of variable y is means as you have assigned, as you have defined float, it is float type. What kind of variable z is means it is string type. But in Python, what kind of variable x is, as you didn't define any data type here. Here in Python, based upon what value you are assigning, what value you are assigning a integer value, that's why that integer variable is created dynamically. So there is a function given by Python type of x is integer. Why it is integer? Because you have assigned a integer value. Based upon what value you are assigning, based on the value assigned, the variable is created. What value you are assigning? Type of y is what? Float type of y is float. Type of y is what? Float type. And here type of z, type of z is what? A string type. So here, based upon what value, based on the value assigned, The variables x, y, z are created dynamically based upon based on the value assigned. The variables are created. We no need to explicitly define int or float or string. That's why we say dynamic data types. So to make you understand much better on this, I'm going to discuss 4 cases now. Observe. So you'll be getting the recorded videos of all these things, right? Yes. Case 1, observe this case 1. Whenever you define like x equal to 10, whenever you define x equal to 10, observe here, internally what is going to happen? Whenever you define x equal to 10, internally one object with value 10 will be created in the memory. It is going to occupy some address. Assume this is the address location. This address is given by x, taken by x. Now try to just answer what x is storing. What x is storing? Don't say x is storing 10. X stores this address. Where exactly it is stored in the memory? That address is stored by x. Here, 3 things you need to understand clearly. Whenever you say print x, whenever I say this print x, means what it prints? It goes to this address, and whatever present at that address, it is going to print. Prints, no, I'm writing here, prints the content. Prints the content at that address. At that address. What is the content at that address? 10. Now, if you want to print the address where exactly it is stored in the memory, just here I've given some random value, but where exactly it is stored the address value. Print, there is ID, there is a function called ID of x. There is a function ID of x. Prints the address of x. Prints the address of x. The address of x is what? 103070. Type of x. Prints the content of that address. ID of x. Prints the address of x. Type of x. Data type of prints the data type of x. There is a function called type function to know the type, right? Data type of x, integer type. Print x prints the content at that address. Then ID of x prints the address of x. Type of x prints the data type of x. Prints the data type of x, right? Integer type. Understood, everyone? How to print the content, how to print the address, how to print the type of a variable. Printing the content of a variable, address of a variable, type of a variable. Whenever you store x equal to 10, an object created, it is going to have some address. That address is stored by x. Whenever you say print x, it goes to this address and prints whatever content at that address. ID of x, the address it is going to print. Type of x, the data type of x. So observe this case 2 now. Observe this case 2. So from here onwards, I want the sessions to be interactive. Everyone, you can unmute yourself and try to respond. Whether your answers are correct or wrong, not a problem. So now try to respond. If x equal to 10, y equal to 20. Either you can respond by unmuting yourself, or you can also provide your response in the chat. Now try to answer, everyone. Here x is 10, y is 20. How many objects are created? Everyone, try to respond. Unmute yourself and try to give responses. I want the response through voice. I want the sessions to be interactive, right? Hmm. You'll be able to unmute yourself and try to respond. How many? Yes, everyone's saying right. 2. So here one object with value 10 with some address. That address taken by X. Y equal to 20. One more object will be created. That object will have some address. That address stored by Y. Now try to respond here. What is print X value? Print X, what is the X value it is going to print?
10.
10, right? Now try to respond. Address ID of X. What is the address?
1030700.
Yes. 1030. Type of X, what type it is? X is what type? What it is? As you have assigned the integer value to X, what type?
Integer 10.
Integer type. Yes. Now similarly, print Y. Everyone respond. Print Y. What is the Y value? 20. Yes. Print Y is what? 20. Address of Y? 1040.
104080.
Type of Y?
Integer.
Integer. Two different variables X, Y with two different values 10, 20. Two different objects created with two different addresses. Okay. That is case 2. Two different variables with two different values, two different objects with two different addresses, right? Now next case 3. X value is 10, Y is 10. X and Y. Now try to respond everyone. How many objects will be created here? Everyone try to respond. How many objects are created?
2.
Someone, yes, I'm getting responses in the chat. Yes, saying 2. But observe carefully here. Two objects are not created here. Two objects are only one object is created. Observe here. First, for X equal to 10, one object is created with some address. Before creating object for Y, it checks any object with value 10. If it is already available, then again it won't create. The same address only will be provided. If X value is 10, Y value is 10, Z value is 10, don't think the three objects with 10, 10, 10 will be created. No. Already it is available. That's why the same address will be given to X, Y, and Z. For example, if X value is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30, how many objects are created? X is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30. In this case, how many objects?
3 objects.
If X is 10, Y is 20, Z is
3.
30. 3
3
objects.
objects.
In such case, 3 objects. But if the values are same, only one object, only one address. I'll show you practically these things, right? Means here X, Y, and Z, they are sharing the same content 10, 10, 10. They are sharing the same address, right? So if I say print X, print Y, print Z, they are going to print the same value 10. Address of X, address of Y, address of Z. Address of X, address of Y, address of Z. Type of X. So same, the type of X, type of Y, type of Z will be integer type of it. So they are three variables X, Y, Z, they are sharing the same content to 10. They are sharing the same address, right? X. Understood this case 3? Observe this case 4. Here, x value is 10. I'm not taking y. Again, x value is 20. How many objects are created here? X and x only, not xy.
One
Observe in this
over it.
case, x is 10, x is 20. Two objects created. Understand here, x is 10, x is 20. Two different objects, two different addresses. Up to here, it is fine. Up to here, it is fine, right? Yes. But whenever I say print x, what is the text value it is going to print? Whether it is 10 or 20 or both. What is your answer? Try to respond.
20,
Print
20,
x, whether it will print 10 or 20 or both.
20.
The latest value that has been stored.
Hmm? Hmm? Okay.
Your salary, for example, your salary last year, 50,000. Your salary this year, 70,000. Print salary, what it print salary
Uh,
means current salary, latest salary.
Yeah, the latest value, sir.
Here also
Yeah.
x value 10. Now x value 20. The latest value is 20. So always it prints the latest value. Address of x will be 104090. Type of x, the type of x will be integer type, right? So for example, for example, I want to, there is a x is 10 available, x is 20 available. X is 10 and x is 20, both available. Now, is there any possibility of printing the value of this? If I say print print x, print x, print x, always it is going to print. Always it is going to print what? 20 only. Is there any possibility of printing the previous one? 10. What happens to that object? What happens to that? Hmm. To know what happened to the previous object. Understand here, to know what happened to the previous object 10. There is a small concept you need to understand, right? It's too early to discuss that, but just I'll give overview of it. You can understand it. There's a concept called garbage collector. So I'll go back to and make you understand this. I'll go back to this case 3. I'll go back to this case 3. There is a concept called garbage collector. Garbage collector means removes unused or unreferred objects. Unused or unreferred objects from the memory. The unused objects or unreferred objects removes from the memory. You can ask, what do you mean by unused or unreferred objects? What do you mean by unused or unreferred objects? means objects, objects whose reference count, becomes 0. Objects whose reference count becomes 0, then immediately this object gets removed from the memory, by the garbage collector. Automatically. We no need to perform anything. Any objects whose reference count becomes 0, then immediately this objects gets removed from the memory by the garbage collector automatically. You may ask, what is reference count and how it becomes 0? First, what is reference count, you say? What is the reference count? So to make you understand this garbage collector, these things you need to understand. Later I discuss in brief. Reference count means number of variables pointing to an object, or number of variables storing address of an object. Number of variables pointing to an object or number of variables storing address. Just observe this to make you understand this. Take this example. One object 10 is there. How many variables are pointing? X is pointing to this, Y is pointing to this, Z is pointing to this. So how many variables pointing to this object? 3. So what is the reference? Reference count is what? Everyone. Reference count is what?
3.
3. Why 3? Because how many variables are pointing to this object X, Y, and Z? Number of variables pointing to this object or number of variables storing the address of this object. X is storing this address, Y also storing this address, Z also storing. That's why reference count 3. Now slowly what I will do, I'll modify the Y value to 20. Slowly I'll modify the Y value to 20. If I modify the Y value to 20 means a new object with value 20 with some new address is created. That address is taken by Y. Now Y is made to point to the new object. Now Y is not pointing to this. Y is not pointing to this. Now try to say this object 10, how many variables are pointing and what is the reference count? X and Z only pointing now. Previously Y also was pointing. Now it is pointing to 20. Now what is the reference count? Everyone. Hello? 2, right? Reference count is 2. Only X and Z are pointing to this object 10. Y is pointing to this other object. Now, slowly I'll modify the Z value. Slowly I will modify the Z value also to 30. One object 30 is created. That address is taken by Z. Now Z is pointed to the new object. Now Z is not pointing to this. Z is not pointing to this. Now to the object 10. Now only X only pointing. Y and Z, they are pointed to the new objects. Now what is the reference count for this?
1. 1.
Reference count is 1 only because only X is pointing. Now slowly I modified the X value also to 50. Now an object 50 is created with some new address. That address is taken by X. Now X is pointing to this new object. X is not pointing to this. What is the reference count now?
1. Only 1.
Reference count is 0. reference count is 0. Now x also pointing to the new object. Previously, 3 variables were pointing, so reference count was 3. Now, slowly, y made it to point to new object. Z is pointing to new, x is pointing to no object. Now, no variables are pointing to this 10. It is unused, unreferred. Whenever any object reference count becomes 0, the object is going to get removed. Understood? How an object is going to get removed? What is the process involved? What is garbage collector? Removes unused or unreferred. What do you mean by unused? Any object reference count becomes 0. How it becomes 0? Reference count number of variables into an object. Initially, this object reference count was 3 because 3 variables x, y, z. Slowly, what happened? One by one, they are pointed to the new object. Finally, no object is pointed to 10. Reference count became 0. Immediately, garbage collector removes this object from the memory. Understood this, everyone? Hello?
Here x is pointed to 50, right? And that means a new value was assigned, right? So I think it is
X is assigned to 50 means now x is pointing to the new object of 50. Now x is not pointing to 10. X
okay.
is not
Yeah.
pointing to 10. X is made to point to the new object. Y also pointing to the new object. Z also pointing to the new object. Now no object is pointed to 10.
Yes.
So reference count is 0.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
talking the reference count of this 10 object 10, not about this other objects. What is the reference count of this object 10? Object 10, no variable is pointing. That's why reference count 0.
Okay.
So if any object reference count 0, then this object is removed from the memory.
Yes.
So based on this understanding, come back to this case 4. I was asking you a query, right? I was asking you a query. X equal to 20, x equal to 10. Always it is printing 20 only, that address of 20 only. Is there any possibility what happened to the previous object means? Forget about x equal to 20 for a while. First, x equal to 10 object. What is the reference count for this object? How many variables are pointing? So this object 10, how many variables are pointing? Only one, right? Only x is pointing. So reference count 1. Slowly, you are modifying x value to 20. A new object 20 created. Now x is pointing to the new object. X cannot point to two objects. Now x is not pointing to this. X is made to point to the new object 20. Now the reference count becomes 0. Whenever any object reference count is object removed from the memory. So this object is not available. Print x always prints 20. This previous object is not available. Understood all this, everyone, right? Case 1, case 2, case 3, and case 4, right? In case 1, right, just x equal to 10, how to print x, prints the content, id of x prints this address, type of x, the data type. Now in this case 2, right? Two different variables x and y with two different values, two different objects with two different addresses. Observe this case 3. Yes. X is 10, y is 10, z is 10. Only one object with value 10. Its address is given to x, y, and z. Now the last fourth case, right? Yes. X is 10, x is 20. Always the latest x value it is going to print. Address and this time, right? Now I'll show you all these 4 cases practically, right? So whenever we install Python, if we type IDLE here in the search, in the bottom search, if we type IDLE, this Python, say enter. This, can you see this IDLE Python? It gets opened. This is what the Python shell. This is what the Python shell, right? Yes. You can work with interactive mode. Right. Now, file, new file, you can say, to work with batch mode for creating a .py file. Comment in Python, it's not executable. Case 1, defining a variable, right? Yes. X value is 10. I want to print the X value. I want to print the address where exactly it is stored in the memory, the ID of X. I want to know the type of the variable, what type it is, type of X. Yes. File, save, Control S. Control S. I created a separate folder for this batch, right? Python 7 p.m. batch. int1.py. Run module. Check this. Print X means 10. Its address where exactly it is stored in the memory. Type of X is what? Int type, right? So printing the content, printing that address, and printing the type. Observe this case 2 now. I'll copy the same thing. Copy and say file, new file. Say file, new file, and say paste. Case 2. Defining two different variables. With two different values. Defining two different variables with two different values. Then two different objects gets created. Defining two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets created with two different addresses. X value is 10, Y is 20. Print X, print address of X, type of X. Similarly, I'll copy this for the variable Y. Print Y, address of Y, type of Y. Now, can you answer the address of X and address of Y? Is it going to be same or different? Everyone.
Different.
Different, right? Because just save it into .py. Any name with .py extension? Because this 10 and 20, two different values, two different objects, two different addresses. Address of X and Y will be different. Check it. Print X 10, Y 20. This is the address of 10. This is the address of 20. Int type, int type. Okay. Now I'll just copy the same thing. Control C. File, new file, right. Case 3. Case 3. Defining two different variables with same values. Two different variables with same values. X is 10, Y also 10. Two different variables with same values. Then only one object gets created. two different variables with same values, then only one object gets created and its address is written to both. X is 10, Y is 10. Now try to answer the address of X and address of Y. Is it going to be same or different? Everyone. Address of X and address of Y.
Same, sir.
It has to be same because the contents are same. Objects are only one object, only one address. Check it. 10, X value 10. This is the address. Y also 10. This is the address. Content is same 10, 10. Address also same, right? And that's now observe this case 4. Case 4. Defining two variables. Defining two variables. Two variables with different names. Sorry, two variables with same names. X10 and X10. Defining two variables with same name. With a different value and with different values and with different values. X is 10, X is 20. Two different objects gets created. Two different objects gets created. And the previous one gets removed. Two variables with same name with different values, then two different objects gets created and the previous one gets removed. X means always it prints the 20 latest value. Address of X always this latest address. Type of X integer type, right? Integer. Int 4.py. Check it. Run module. Okay, fine. Okay. Run module. Any query in this 4 cases? 20, the latest value, the address and this. Observe in this case 3, I got a query. If X is 10, Y is 10, how many objects? One object or two objects? Everyone. X is 10, Y is 10. How many objects are created?
2.
X value is 10 and Y also 10 only. X is 10, Y is 10. How many objects?
One object. One object.
Only one object with only one address, right? Address of X and address of Y will be same. Address of X and Y will be same. But for example, 10.0 if I give, 10.0 if I give. Now try to respond.
Two objects.
Before answering, right? What is type of Y? Float type.
Float.
Type of X, integer type. Means two different objects. One is float object, one is integer object is created. One is float and one integer object is created. Right. Okay, fine. Understood, right? So this is what, how to define variables, defining data types and variables. So more discussion will continue in the tomorrow's class. Tomorrow also every one of you can attend the session, same time at 7 o'clock using the same link, right? In the chart panel, you can see that course content link. Observe this course content, and if anyone, if you have missed that session, right, of yesterday's session, right, the previous sessions, you can see the demo videos links are provided. Previous, like yesterday's video and the day before yesterday's video, right? You can see in the demo videos.
Hi Vijay,
Yeah.
I have sent you one message in chat to you personally. Could you please read it and it will be helpful to me. It's small, my concern, which will be helpful to me. Actually, I have a 4 years of experience on APN, which is a BPM tool. Please read my comment. I have sent you personally.
You got MySQL installations.
Yeah. Please add to me your next class videos. It will be today night. I will try from my end. If I could not
Okay.
able to resolve that issue,
And
I will connect with
starting.
you your next class.
Okay. Just you contact that online team, right? They'll they'll provide my number. You can just contact. We'll be in contact for the terror. You have said that you have already taken the videos, all the videos of mine, right?
Yeah. Because if I don't have too much of time, so
Okay,
that's
that's fine. You can take the contact details of the online team. They will arrange a call and your problem, that issue will be rectified. Means you got some error you are saying, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Fine. Any other queries, anyone, right? Yes.
Yeah, yes, sir. They have not shared any videos till now.
You can see in the chart, right? The last video, the last message you got, right? From the DurgaSoft demo videos they have kept.
The same issue here. Even I have not received the recorded sessions.
Recorded.
They told they will share in the Google Drive, I guess, but they have not
You
shared.
have got enrolled.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, if anyone, if you have got enrolled, right, from day after tomorrow, you will see in the Google Drive. Tomorrow people can attend, but from day after tomorrow, the link is going to change. So everyone has to get enrolled. After the enrollment process is completed, you will be getting the videos to your Google Drive. Notes you will be getting to your mail IDs. A WhatsApp group will be created. You will be added to the WhatsApp groups. As of now, you can see in the chart, you can copy that link if you want to go to the videos. But from day after tomorrow, you are going to get to your Google Drives. Okay. And notes also you'll be getting. And a link you will be getting, a new link you will be getting, right? With that link, you can join that Zoom link, Zoom meeting. And videos you'll be getting to your Google Drives, notes to your mail IDs, and a WhatsApp group will be created. And you will be added to that WhatsApp group. So, and once again, let me make it clear about this, right? once you go through the course content, right, just go to the course content and you can compare with any other training sites. We'll be discussing in brief. Lot of modules we'll be discussing, and how to create our own modules I'll be discussing. So as part of the course, I said I'll be discussing procedural oriented with Python, object oriented with Python, and this modular programming with Python and scripting with Python, right? Okay. So modular programming, lot of modules I'll be discussing, and also how to create our own modules. Fine. And just check with this, the durations and the things, right? So Python Core and Advanced, 70 hours, 2 months duration. Tomorrow, everyone can attend with the same link using same time at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Okay. So in people who go for Python full stack, UI technologies, the Django framework, Flask framework, REST API, MySQL, all this, right? Yes. So UI technologies, Django framework, Flask framework, REST API, MySQL and project. From here to 2 to 7, right? 70 hours, 2 months duration for this. For Python, 2 months. And for the frameworks, it takes like 2 months, 4 months duration. 70 hours plus 71, 40 hours. 6K plus 7K, 13K. And if you're taking the entire package, it's 12K, right? So first 1 week to 10 days it will be at 7 p.m. Later it will be at 8 p.m., right? Fine.
Hello, sir. Is it possible to keep the same thing like same timing actually instead of 8, skipping it 7? Is it possible, or is there any batch in 7 p.m. in evening?
So as of now, there is no batch, but in the morning, if you are unable to attend this 7 p.m., there is a morning batch available at 7 a.m. Morning 7 a.m. it is available from day after tomorrow, Thursday. It is going to start.
So morning also not possible actually. Sometimes actually, but is it possible in evening actually? Evening 7 p.m.
So actually, because of the many requests given by the students, right? So people coming from different people who go for colleges, people who are coming from the jobs, 7 p.m. is not that much feasible. That's why it was shifted to 8 p.m. by this DurgaSoft. So it's clearly said before you go with the payment, right? It will be at 8 p.m. up to the end of the course.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
So if I'm done with your, yes, any other query? Someone was asking. Okay. Fine. If I'm done with your queries, if there are no other queries. Yes, any query you got? Anyone? Someone was. Yes.
Yes. So this is possible and maybe I'm working right now. But the thing is that I'm working in different countries and
Sunil Singh, right? You are can you your voice is not clear. You are getting a lot of gaps in it.
sorry, am I audible now?
You're audible. You're audible, but your voice is not clear. Anyone, can you repeat the query?
Okay, 1 second.
Otherwise, you can type in the chat.
Now my voice is clear.
Yes, it's clear now. Yes. Yes.
Is it clear now?
Yes, it's clear now. Go with your query.
Yeah. So the thing is that I'm working right now, and right now I have almost 3 years of experience. So, but the thing is that the domain I am working, I'm not want to pursue further. I just that is why I'm just want to go ahead with the web development. So, is it fine? Like some 3+ will be fine for proceed further in this one.
Yes, yes. A typical 4+ years experience person, how much knowledge, right? That much knowledge you will be gaining in this total full stack web development, right?
Yeah. And
Fine,
so
because yes.
one more thing is that from how much close onwards I can attend the in parallel the Django one. How much knowledge is required so that I can parallel and like for fast track this process.
Okay, 1 second. So you people can attend parallelly also. Why? Because you can attend parallelly whenever any Django batch is going to start, framework batch is going to start. Because here, whenever you go parallelly, immediately you'll be discussed with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. By the time this is going to get complete, takes 1 month. By the time you will be completed with Python code. So by the time you go to this Django framework, you will be in Python advanced. So that basic knowledge of this Python you'll be already having, right, before you go with this Django framework.
Okay.
Fine.
So the thing is that actually I have taken this Durgas's videos were there. So I have actually gone through and did through like exception handlings and everything. But the thing is that I just wanted like those are like quite old videos and just I was just practicing through it. But I was just like curious about like should I go ahead with this one or should I go with the Django? That is the confusion for me.
So okay, so that is up to you. Okay, you can check with that.
Okay.
Okay. Any other queries, right?
Okay. So yeah, no. That's the thing. Should I continue with that because or should I complete this? That is very curious because a few of the things are still there. So I was just curious, like if I start my
So
Django.
these are interactive sessions. Any query, any doubt, immediately you can ask. You'll be answering. You'll be querying. Live interactive sessions, right?
Okay.
So yes. So I said it will be like the 2 + 2 4 months. But if you want to attend parallelly, it will be completed in 2.5 to 3 months. Everything, right? Fine.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, one question is there. I'm preparing for a zero data engineering. So related that Python core is fine, or I have to go with for Python advanced as well?
Python core is fine, and Python core and advanced, right? Python core is sufficient, but some topics
Okay.
here and there, like models, concept, modular programming, the concepts are required. Yes, Python advanced topics like models, modular programming is required. So I do
So
handle with
separate core batch I can take, or I have to take both core and advanced batch.
core and advanced. There is no Python core batch. Python core and advanced batch only. Both combined. The Python batch is there. There's no Python core advanced. Python will be there. That
Okay.
will be 6,000, right? That is up to you whether you continue up to that. How much you
Okay.
want, you can take from this. People from
Okay.
different environments will be updating with Python. From people from DevOps environment writing scripts in Python. People
Yeah.
from data science environment. People from data engineering background. People from IoT. People from robotics background. All this. So how much required from they'll be updated with Python. How much knowledge required from that they can use it accordingly. Right? Fine.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So we'll continue tomorrow, same time at 7 o'clock using the same link, more discussion on this, right? Tomorrow you can attend, but from day after tomorrow, the link will be changing, right? Fine. You can see that if you are absent, you can see that video link right in the chart and also the payment details, the course content details, and the contact details of this online team if any queries, right? All this, like 3-4 messages they have provided, right? You can check with those. Okay, fine. So thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow. Bye. Good night.